Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, what is good? What is good? What is good? Of course, you know who I be. Good Doc, Dr. Mike TV, back again, once again. You already know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's the classic in the making. First time to the channel, guys. Make sure you subscribe, notify, do all the good things to make yourself well versed in the Good Doc's content. Everything you should need to know about me shall be listed in the links in the description area below. Doc's been having revelations lately, man. I just want to politic with the crowd for a minute. And I have to ask this question, guys. Is it up to us to change the narrative about us? More specifically, is it up to us as black travelers to somewhat change the narrative about what some people believe to be true about people who represent your particular race? Now, one thing that I've noticed about Filipino people and most people abroad, once their mind is normally set, the chances of you changing their mind is going to be slim to none. All right. Once they've already made up their mind about you, whether it be through prior experiences, whether it be what they've heard from other people, whether it be what they've seen on TV, you know how the media likes to play a couple of mind tricks on people. But once they've seen something about you and they've kind of concretely determined how they feel about you without even knowing you or getting to know you, sometimes it's very, very difficult to change their mind. So I've often been plagued with the idea of, is it up to us to change the narrative about us? Is it up to us to change how people feel, or to at least introduce themselves to a different side of people who represent people who may look like me or people who may look like you, and, you know, let it be? Or should I say, should we just let it be? Let it be what it's going to be and don't even worry about it or anything like that. And I asked the question, and in the comment section below, I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. I do not want to make this a video about racism or anything like that, because that's not quite what this is about. You can kind of fill it in, but we're going to try to take a differing approach to whether it's, oh, are these people racist? No, not that type of video today. All right, but I want to talk to you guys like this. In reference to gang violence, in reference to the negative outlook of African American men in general, I cannot say that we have the greatest of impressions on people, for the most part. I know that when you meet me for the first time, I can guarantee you, you will not see any of that energy in me. I'm not cut that way. I'm not built that way. That's just not the way that I was raised. That's not the, well, that is kind of the environment that I came from, but I'm not that type of person. I grew up in a military family, man. I grew up with everything that you would probably fill in. You fill in the blanks. If you grew up in a military family, you know. And chances are my exposure to certain types of things were limited at best. But I do know exactly where my people come from, and I do know the, you know, situations that would likely present themselves in reference to being a person of my particular melanin. So when you take this being yourself abroad, right? And let's say, for example, you're just out and about, you're being who you are, right? Nothing like what people would probably see on TV or in the media, but it seems as though people don't necessarily, not necessarily vibe with you, but they seem like they're kind of scared of you because of things that they've seen on TV or things that they may have heard. I don't think that that would make you feel good, because I know that would not make me feel good. But is it up to us to change the narrative? Should we go out of our way to change the narrative and show people, no, that's not who we are? All right? Do we need to do that? And a lot of you will probably say no. Some people may say, yeah, I think it's up to us to show them that there's a different side of us, that whatever is represented in the news and all of that stuff, we definitely aren't all this way. And definitely a lot of us aren't this way. It's just they choose a chosen few people, and that kind of seems to create the entire narrative, you know? Or do you feel like, man, fuck them, man. They're going to feel the way they feel. All I could do is, if they want to interact with me, they'll figure it out. But if they don't, they don't. And I would also like to include my African brethren in this particular topic of conversation too, because I can tell you this. I can tell you the negative aspect that has definitely been tailed on or tacked on by Filipino people towards my African brethren, especially my Nigerian brothers, is whenever they see them, they think they're all scammers, man. And that's unfortunately, that's really unfortunate. Like, you can talk to Filipinas, and for the most part, they'll tell you the reason why they don't necessarily deal with a particular group of individuals, more specifically the African brothers from Nigeria. They will specifically say something to the effect of, well, you know, they're known for scamming. They're known for being scammers. All right? But the funny thing is, when you talk about the Chinese and you talk about the Korean, I've come across quite a few stories where they've been into situations that involve credit card fraud and all of the above in the country. I don't know if it's necessarily credit card fraud against, the Filipino people. I don't necessarily think so. But, people of other races are involved in the exact same activities, but it just seems to be the negative aspects surrounding a particular group of individuals. So it's kind of like, okay, this is how they gonna feel about me. If this may be the reason why they don't really rock with me like that, or they don't choose to interact or want to embrace or kick it with me. So it's kind of like, what do you think? Like, what really is it? Like, where do you stand on the idea of whether it's up to us, the people who actually travel to the country, to change the narrative about us? I will say this, though, and this is full transparency. I'll tell you the truth. Me being black has not stopped me one bit. Okay? Me being a black American, African American has not stopped me one bit. I haven't lost a step. There may be a couple of girls that may not have wanted to date me, and maybe that could have been because of my race. I don't know. Some people have come out and said, yeah, I don't date black guys or something like that. Okay. But let's be honest, guys, I have not lost the pep in my step, gentlemen. It hasn't, just because I'm black, it has not stopped me from doing anything that I've wanted to do within the country. It has not stopped me from associating and interacting with the people that I genuinely want to be around me. It has not stopped me from moving and doing what I want to do within the country. I haven't been shunned away or stopped from doing absolutely anything. So for me, it's kind of like, man, you can feel the way that you want to, but it's not going to stop me from doing what I came here to do. It's not going to stop me from doing what I want to do. I mean, as long as it's within the bylaws, as long as it's within the law, of course, it's not going to stop me from doing what I want to do. So, it truly does bring about the topic of conversation, because the one thing that really baffles me is it sucks that people pass judgment before they meet people. But then again, we're all human. I think we've all passed judgment at least once in our lifetime before. Everybody has passed judgment on somebody before. Another group of people, another race of people, without ever meeting this particular person or individual. You'll look at somebody and probably have a thought about them. And that just comes with the territory. I just believe that it is human nature. That sometimes you do have, certain prejudices is the best way for me to put it. But I don't think that you should allow those prejudices to stop you from getting to know people. But I kind of feel like that's what it does. Your prejudices stop you from getting to know people. And the same rules happen when we're abroad. It sucks, though, especially if you find yourself highly attracted to a specific young lady and she don't want nothing to do with you because of her prejudices about what she may have heard about you or what she may have heard about your particular group of people or whatnot. It sucks. And I think that would probably be one of the only situations where you would probably actually make an attempt to show them that you're not like what they see on TV, or you're not like what people have said about your particular group of people. But yet still, like I said, man, once it's ingrained in the mind, man, and once it's been filtered and dropped in by a bunch of different people, and I'm not going to get into those particular people who are making such comments, but if you guys pick up what I'm putting down, I think you know what I'm talking about. We're not going to get into the groups of individuals that are probably spreading or talking these particular narratives. But what we will say is this, man. It sucks when you kind of get stopped at the border because somebody don't really rock with you like that. Or it's just a matter of, well, because of what I've heard and because of something that happened with a friend or this like that, I'm choosing not to give you an opportunity or a chance to really get to know me. I mean, if that really matters to you, of course. Only if it really matters. A lot of y'all don't give a shit, and I understand. But it does get to the point where, and I do find myself conflicted from time to time on whether should I go out of my way to show people that this is not what it is so that they know. But then again, I'm like, well, fuck it, man. I think if somebody really wants to talk to me and get to know me, I'm like, okay, I'm here. I'm not changing who I am. I'm still going to be the same person that you met the day before and the day before and probably the day after that. But ultimately, it's really conflicting for me, at least, because sometimes it's like, yo, man, I really do want to show people that you can't really go off of what other people say or what you see on TV. All right? Same rules apply to us foreigners looking at Filipinas and all of us thinking that they're all submissive. Trust me, that is not true. That is not true at all. All right, so it's like you can't really go with your prejudgments and your prejudices, or your pre-assumptions, I should say, about people and expect it to all be that way, because when it's not that way and you find yourself disappointed in that particular fact, then from a foreigner standpoint, you kind of traveled all the way to the Philippines for nothing. All right, if that's what you think that a particular Filipino is supposed to be. So these prejudges, these pre-assumptions, and pre-prejudices that I'm talking about, even though prejudges, pre-prejudice, some shit like that. It all sounds right. It sounds right in my head, and it sounds right when I'm saying it. It may be wrong, but who cares? All right. But when you have these moments, guys, I just feel like, you're forced with two opposing, polar opposite decisions that you need to make. A, you make a conscientious effort to try to show them that that's not really what it is. B, let bygones be bygones and just go on about your business, man, and just continue allowing people to believe what they want to believe. So in the comment section below, let me know what you feel, man. Let me know what's on your mind. Let me know if this is something that, do you care what people think about you? A lot of you probably don't, but would you take the moment to go out of your way and say, yo, this isn't really representation of all of us? Whatever situation that you've seen is not a representation of all of us. All right, would you go out of your way to make that particular statement at the very least? All right, comment section below, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys think, man. It has been fun, it has been real, but it's time for the good doc to go and get to getting, man. So with that being said, good doc is officially out. At least nako pa alam, which means I am going now. Bye bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Mahal kita. Mabuhay. Peace.